All right. How do we feel?
Merp. 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 I want my boba.
Scream it to the world, Kristen.
I want my boba!
Order in the court. Thank you. Now, all rise. The Court of Public Opinion is now in session. The Honorable Chief Justice Kristen and Associate Justice Austin presiding. Now calling to trial the multiverse's most controversial social debate topics. They shall be resolved once and for all. You may be seated.
Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion podcast, where... ...
We did not write an intro because I think we're just having some bad luck this time.
Correct. Well, I am your Chief Justice, Kristen Bradley.
And I am your Associate Justice, Austin Andrade. I almost said your name.
That would have been fun. Let's switch.
Oh, episode 13.
It'll be like Freaky Friday. I'm your Chief Justice. No, you have to say that.
I am your Chief Justice, Kristen Bradley.
And I'm your Associate Justice, Austin Andrade.
Happy Saturday, Peanuts. It is September 12th, which means that we have reached the end of National Suicide Prevention Week, and that happens to fall every year on the first full week of September. Today, as you can see by our shirts, if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com, Court of Public Opinion Podcast, we just ran our 5K on Labor Day for our suicide and prevention awareness through runsignup.com, and our donations to the run are going to the National Alliance of Mental Illness.
If you weren't able to join us on this run, that's okay. We will be participating in more in the future. But also, Suicide Prevention Month is the entire month of September. So if you're still interested in supporting mental health initiatives, you can donate directly to the National Alliance on Mental Illness at www.nami.org.
And if you're someone... or if you or someone you know is battling depression or having suicidal thoughts, please don't hesitate to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. Once again, that's 800-273-8255, because you are loved and your life is important.
Very important.
All right. What else have we been up to this week, Kristen?
First and foremost, today is... the Richard Jr.'s 22nd birthday.
Happy birthday, Ricky!
Shout out to one of our favorite listeners of all time. He listens every single week and never fails to correct something I say. And you're old, so welcome to the old fart club.
Way to go, buddy. A whole year of drinking, and look what it's done to you.
Yeah. Speaking of birthdays... last week, we took Molly to the dog beach and celebrated my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday, Richard.
Richard Sr.'s.
And now, happy birthday, Richard Jr.
And then next week, it's happy birthday me.
Happy birthday, Lady Richard.
And you.
And me.
So
You're Lady Richard now, apparently.
I don't like that.
Neither do I.
But
I regret everything.
That happened, and it was super fun. We gave him a Fitbit, and... he's all excited because he can read the numbers on his watch now, which was apparently a problem before.
It feels really good having gotten a gift that he'll actually use.
He wears it every
seems to
day.
enjoy.
We hung out like yesterday, and someone's calling me.
You're getting a call. It might be our boba. We got boba! Okay.
We were hanging out with my dad yesterday. And he was wearing it, and Austin was like, oh, do you like your watch? And he was like, yeah, I can read the numbers.
But he doesn't know what any of the other stuff does.
Nope.
We'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. Who knows?
Okie dokie. Well, I was also up in Northern California this weekend for a funeral. But it was super fun. I got to see my cousins, and we don't get to hang out that often because they're so far away in Northern California. So that's the positive part.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good spin. Well, now we're all caught up with our life. Want to get into some argument?
Yeah, but first we gotta take you through the disclaimer.
Take it away.
This is an intentionally argumentative podcast. We choose to take opposing sides of an argument for the sake of entertainment, whether or not our personal values align with it. The Court of Public Opinion podcast and its hosts do not necessarily endorse the views expressed in this program. Please do not pass judgment on our personal individual character based on our arguments. We're just here to have a good time yelling at each other over silly debate topics. And now that that's out of the way,
we have to set up our argument space aura with a candle.
But what candle are we burning today?
Well, over the past 10, 11 episodes, we've only really had a few choices to choose from so far. Mainly our 3 Jax Kelly, not a sponsor, crystal candles, our Dalmatian Jasper for balance, our blue chalcedony for calming, and our citrine candle for success. So I figured, fuck it. Let's feel balanced, calmed, and successful all at once and just burn these things all together. What do you say?
Whoa.
Is that excessive?
A little bit.
But sometimes you just gotta say fuck it. I mean, it's an unlucky numbered episode, so we have to get all the help we can, right?
All right.
Could you hold my microphone for me while I light these?
Don't play with fire, kids.
I am a certified professional.
No, he's not.
Come on, fire.
As
What
evidenced
the
by
butt?
the fact that he can't
It's
light
not
the
lighting.
candle.
The 3 candles are lit. If I had enough hand, I would hold them up in front of the camera, but I don't.
He's going off right now.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna burn the whole house down.
Hopefully not. Okay. Now that we've lit these candles.
Now that it's lit.
What are we arguing?
At the end of last week's episode, we said we would be arguing what is the wildest superstition, because this is our 13th episode, as I've already said several times, but instead, we're going to take a little different approach to this week's argument. Instead of arguing which superstition is the craziest one, we'll be going through a bunch of superstitions from all around the world, discussing them, and then arguing if superstitions in general have any merit or if they're just a bunch of malarkey. So let's get to it.
First, we're going to talk about some of the most popular and well-known superstitions today, starting with knocking on wood. In many cultures, it's a common superstition for people to knock on a piece of wood to bring themselves good fortune or ward off bad luck. One common explanation traces the phenomenon. It's not a phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon.
No, phenomenon.
Phenomenon. Phenomenon.
One common explanation traces the superstition to ancient pagan cultures such as the Celts. I always mess this
The Celts. The Celts?
up. I think it's... See, but the Boston Celtics, but I'm pretty sure they're Celtic women. Or Celtic woman, the artist.
Bjorn? Bjork?
Oh.
That's Icelandic.
There is an artist called Celtic Woman.
Oh.
Such as the Celts who believed that spirits and gods resided in trees. Knocking on tree trunks may have served to rouse the spirits and call on their protection, or express gratitude for a stroke of good luck. Based on these beliefs, one would typically knock twice on the trunk of a tree, the first knock to awaken the spirits and ask for help, and the second knock to say thank you.
And I'll be honest, I do this one. I actually knock on wood when not necessarily for good luck, but I do it whenever I speak aloud something like that could go wrong. Oh gosh, I sure hope a giant boulder doesn't roll on me and crushing my body like a Go-Gurt tube. Knock on wood. Oops, that was 3.
I bet you didn't know why you said it though, so you're welcome.
Oh, okay. Second one is throwing salt over your shoulder. According to 18th century French author Jean-Charles Emmanuel Nodier, the action of spilling salt indicates among savages the refusal of protection and hospitality from such strangers as they may have reason to suspect are thieves and murderers. So if you spill salt, it's basically like posting a public invitation including your home address to all of the hot singles in your area who are ready to stab you and steal all of your shit. But the superstition probably dates back to ancient Rome when salt was held as a symbol of friendship due to its preservative properties. Salt also just used to be an expensive commodity back then, so spilling salt would be a huge waste of cash. Like, come on, Cicero, again? Don't you know how much I paid for that? Only someone being influenced by the devil would act with such wanton disregard of wealth. Cicero, get out of my sight! No, it's ruined! Before you go, scoop it up, throw it over your shoulder, and may God forgive your heathen ass. This is what Roman people sound like, by the way.
That was a lot.
Sorry, that was me embodying a Roman nobleman, because they really care about their salt. There are also claims about the superstition that spilled salt has bad luck from biblical origins. One example coming from Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, where Judas is depicted as having knocked over the salt with his elbow. Because Judas betrayed Jesus Christ in the Bible, people began associating salt with lies and disloyalty. But spilling salt was already generally considered a bad omen, predating the Da Vinci painting. And then there's still the question of, why does throwing salt over your left shoulder after spilling it counteract that bad luck? Well, apparently, the devil is always hanging out right there behind your left shoulder, just waiting to take advantage of you. He sees spilling salt as an invitation for him to do his evil devil stuff. But the devil also apparently has a super wimpy eye situation with a huge weakness to salt, because if you throw even just a pinch of salt in the devil's face, it renders him completely and utterly hopeless and blind, and then he won't be able to do any of his evil devil things. So either you get rid of all your salt so you never spill it, or you keep salt on you at all times, so you always have a weapon to throw over your left shoulder right into the devil's face and kick him in the devil balls or whatever you have to do to keep him at bay.
You just said that all you had to do to keep him at bay was throw salt in his eye.
Yeah, but if you want him to stay down, you gotta kick him in the devil balls.
But he only comes out when you spill salt.
Oh, he's always there.
Yeah, but you just said that spilling salt is when
the invitation for him to
correct.
do trickery.
So you don't have to do anything until you spill salt.
Oh, that devil. Okay. Well, salt also holds an important place in a lot of other religions from many different cultures. For example, ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans invoke gods with salt offerings. During Brahmanic sacrifices and during festivals held by Semites, salt was thrown into a fire to make crackling noises. Ooh. And then Mahayana Buddhists believe that salt wards off evil spirits. Even in Wicca practices, salt is symbolic of the earth element and can cleanse an area of harmful energy. These, and a lot more, might be a part of the reason why the salt spilling superstition has been such a long-standing one.
Now that you're finally done talking.
Oh, was that info heavy? Sorry.
It wasn't info heavy, it was you just talk a lot. My next superstition is broken mirrors. If you break a mirror, you will suffer 7 years of bad luck. No matter what. Although the exact origins of the belief are unknown, potentially centuries-old lore holds fast to the idea that a mirror is a projection of one's appearance and one's soul, if you have one. Breaking a mirror also breaks the soul into pieces. Again, if you have one. The soul,
jury's out.
now severely damaged, isn't able to fully protect its owner from bad luck. Or in an alternative explanation, the damaged soul seeks revenge against the one responsible for its injuries, aka you, the one who broke the mirror. The means of revenge varies, but often includes the loss of the soul is taking revenge on its owner, I guess. And the means of revenge varies, but often includes the loss of a close friend or the death of someone in the household, and that just seems really aggressive.
That seems excessive because the soul came from that person. So why is it trying to screw up that person's life?
Because you messed up the soul's... It's like you betrayed it.
So it's like an independent entity?
Yep.
Oh my.
That's why I choose not to have a soul.
That sounds like the smarter plan.
The idea that broken mirrors can bring bad luck most likely stems from the ancient Greeks, who believed spirits lived in reflective pools of water. In fact, the fate that awaited Greek mythological figure Narcissus... Narcissus... may have grown out of this belief. Narcissus fell in love, and it was fell in love with himself?
Yeah.
Oh, he fell in love with himself, and it was his undoing. He was so in love with the way that he looked in still waters that he pined for himself, or by some accounts, the visage of his late twin sister, until he died.
Incest in Greek mythology is not uncommon.
So what I'm hearing is if you think you're pretty and you stare in mirrors all the time, that's going to be your own undoing.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So don't be vain. Don't look at yourself in the mirror.
Our next classic superstition is opening umbrellas indoors. The oldest known origin of it being bad luck to open an umbrella indoors dates back to the Egyptian Empire. Egyptians worshipped many gods, and among them was the sun god Ra, believed to have ruled over all parts of creating the world, including the sky, the sun, and the underworld. Ancient Egyptian nobility would use umbrellas to protect themselves from the intense rays of the sun, and less frequently from rain. Opening an umbrella under shade or indoors was said to be a great insult to Ra. Other cultures, starting with the mid-19th century Britain, perpetuated this superstition as a deterrent from opening umbrellas indoors because it's a really good way to just knock over all your shit, so...
Could also poke someone's eye out with those.
You betcha. Have you ever been walking in a crowd? Like, okay,
No.
This is a Disneyland anecdote.
Because we can't walk in crowds because...
I mean, obviously not now. But, like at Disneyland, if it's crowded and raining.
When does it ever rain at Disneyland?
Okay, in Florida then.
Ew. When do I ever go to Florida?
Disney World.
Gross.
The point is, have you ever been standing close by somebody when they open up their umbrella? It's a hazard in 8 directions. And I've almost gotten stabbed in my eye several times.
Maybe you shouldn't be standing that close to a person.
Well, maybe people should hold their umbrellas higher, too. Because they keep them, like, low down here. That's just as bad luck. Keeping your umbrella held low, even if you're outside.
My next superstition is walking under ladders. There are apparently a few supposed origins to the belief that walking under a ladder will bring bad luck. One origin dates back to medieval times in which the ladders symbolized the gallows. And if you don't know what the gallows are, that's where people got hanged.
I'm just acting it out for the people on YouTube.
Nobody asked for that. So when someone walked under a ladder, it was believed that they would face their own death by hanging. That's unfortunate. I've definitely walked under a ladder before. And because people were hung at the tops of rungs of the ladder, it was thought that their spirits resided within the triangle that was formed by the leaning ladder. In other words, it formed a haunted area. This sounds like a whole lot of bullshit to me.
It is.
Ladders were typically leaned up against the gallows and used to assist the person in charge of removing the dead bodies. By walking under the ladder during that time, it was assumed that a dead body could fall on you, causing injury or death. Now that's way more believable.
And that is an unlucky day.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Don't walk under a ladder if there's a freaking dead body being held up there.
So that's the caveat. You can walk under a ladder unless there are dead bodies above you.
Sure. Another origin of this superstition dates back to ancient Egypt. Egyptians strongly believed in the power of the pyramids. Even a ladder leaning against a wall symbolized a pyramid because of its triangular shape. They get it. You don't need to act it out.
Okay.
It would be that. Because it's a wall.
Okay, with the
And a
ladder
ladder.
leaning up against it. I
Act it
understand.
out correctly.
Fine.
If someone walked under it, they believed that the power of the sacred pyramid was broken. That makes a lot more sense than it being haunted. As far as superstitions go.
Breaking the
like if you
triangle.
believe that pyramids are super important in your religion and walking under it breaks the pyramid, that makes a lot more sense than there being ghosts in the little triangle formed.
But it doesn't break the triangle. You pass through the triangle.
Which you shouldn't do because it breaks the power of the pyramid.
Okay. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, it does. Yet another early belief about ladders was that when leaned triangularly, how else would you lean it? When leaned triangularly against a wall, it signified the Holy Trinity. So for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming you don't know, that the Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. One of these.
I had no idea.
Catholicism. The action of walking under the ladder was considered blasphemy and a desecration of God. Additionally, it would invite the devil in. Well, anytime you desecrate God, I think the devil comes in, so.
The devil's just right there over your left shoulder being like, yo, you desecrate God or spill any salt?
So don't walk under ladders, or you'll have to throw some salt over your left shoulder.
And blind the devil in his devil eyes that are weak to salt.
Your eyes are also weak to salt.
I'm just assuming that a paranormal entity such as the devil should have something in place for him to not be so susceptible to eye blinding through salt like humans are. He's like a demon god thing, so you'd think he'd have like eye covers. Honestly, all he has to do is wear one of those plastic face masks that people wear for COVID and he'd be fine. It's really fun when I say stupid things that piss off Kristen and she's just like dumbfounded.
I put up with a lot.
Well, our next one, moving on, our next superstition is the lucky rabbit's foot.
Rabbits?
Rabbits.
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 Why do your bees sound like bees? Rabbits.
Our next superstition is the lucky rabbit's foot.
Rabbit.
This superstition has an oddly racially charged origin coming from an early 20th century account in which rabbits' feet imported from America were, quote, the left hind foot of a rabbit killed in a country churchyard at midnight during the dark of the moon on Friday the 13th of the month by a cross-eyed, left-handed, red-headed, bow-legged, insert racist term for an African-American person here, riding a white horse. So, like, clearly, not just any old rabbit foot is going to work. You have to go through this entire process and have these exact circumstances for it to be lucky, or it just isn't worth it.
It's just a marketing scheme.
I have questions.
It's just a marketing scheme.
A racist marketing scheme?
Everything from back then was racist.
Truth. Ow. I just got flicked.
I could have slapped you.
Rude.
Red.
Rude.
Red. That didn't even hurt. Don't be a little
Hurt
bitch.
my soul.
Oh, you don't have one.
Then I'm safe from mirrors, so that's good.
You know what you're not safe from?
What?
Black cats crossing your path. It is believed to have started in the 17th century when black cats were associated with witchcraft. The belief of witches transforming themselves into black cats to prowl the streets discreetly became a central belief in America during the Salem witch hunts. Even today, the myth of black cats and witches holds strong, especially during the Halloween season, the best season, the spooky season.
Coming up.
That's why my hair is purple now.
So stoked.
However, black cats weren't always the face of bad luck. In fact, in the early Egyptian times, as early as 3000 BC, black cats were worshipped and were thought to bring you good luck.
Okay.
All cats bring good luck because all cats are awesome. Not as awesome as dogs, but they are awesome.
And you've got a black cat. Well, a black and white cat.
She's a tuxedo cat.
Which is classier than a black cat and obviously way more lucky.
She's like an Oreo.
So what do you think about all black cats? Have you ever seen... I've never seen a black cat cross my path just out in life. This is like John Mulaney with quicksand.
I've seen black cats. I have a lot of friends who had black cats. One of them was named Salem.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Appropriately named.
And I love that.
Have you seen Salem just out walking the streets, though?
No.
So when does he ever cross the path?
Crossed my path all the time. Am
Okay.
I dead yet?
No, you're doing just fine.
On the inside, I am.
You're a witch with no soul.
I am a witch. I am the fucking supreme. Ooh.
And I'm just a lame warlock who will probably get...
Murdered by one of your own.
All right. And our last of the classic...
Buckle up, y'all. Austin's about to talk for a really long time.
This last superstition of the classics is Friday the 13th. The fear of Friday the 13th is called paraskevidecatriophobia. Yes, I had to break that apart to be able to pronounce it properly. Whereas the fear of just the number 13 in general is called triskaidekaphobia. Friday the 13th is associated with the crucifixion of the Lord Jesus. Hence, many devout Christians believe that the date itself is unlucky. And then the Great Flood also occurred on a Friday. And then, like I said, the Bible mentions the Last Supper had 13 guests, and Judas, that salt-spilling son of a gun, he ultimately betrayed Jesus. And Israel The number 12 is considered lucky, owing to 12 tribes of Israel. Conversely, 13 is considered very unlucky, because 12 is the maximum number of tribes that you can enjoy in that country. In Roman culture, witches are believed to have gathered in groups of 12, where the 13th witch is the devil herself.
Did you just say the devil is a woman?
The devil's a woman, Lucifina.
You disgust me.
Come at me.
All men are the devil.
And God is a woman?
You're goddamn right she is.
Superstition and fear associated with Friday the 13th specifically grew during the Middle Ages because of the Knights Templar, who were tortured by King Philip IV of France on Friday the 13th. In British culture, Friday and 13 are associated with capital punishment, Friday being the day of the hangman or the noose, when 13 hangings took place in one day and there were 13 steps leading up to the gallows. The superstition of Friday the 13th being unlucky has been supported by a series of really shitty things happening on it's so difficult to say. Friday the 13th. Some examples. September 13th, 1940, 5 bombs struck Buckingham Palace while Queen Elizabeth and King George VI were having tea in the midst of World War II. October 13th, 1972, when the Ilyushin 62 airplane carrying 164 passengers and 10 crew members crashed near Moscow's airport. September 13th, 1996, when Tupac Shakur died in a Las Vegas hospital after being shot several times in a drive-by shooting on September 6th. By Biggie, allegedly. October 13th, 2006, when a freak blizzard hit Buffalo, New York, and many other examples.
Okay, now that we're past those lame, commonly known ones, let's get into some more interesting international ones.
All right, my first superstition comes from Nigeria. There is a Nigerian superstition that if you hit a man with a broom, it will render him impotent, or it may even make his genitals fall off entirely. Maybe not fall off.
Someone get me a broom!
I think they'll just vanish, but
Get me a broom!
Please no, please no. And then there is a way for the man who's been hit with a broom to reverse the curse, and that is to take the broom from the person who hit him with it and then smack them with the broom 7 times.
And if you do that, that's domestic violence or
yeah,
whatever
that's why
it's called.
I don't
so then,
like this one.
I mean, you can hit me 7 times with a broom, but you're going to jail even if you do have your genitals, so.
Well, the thing with this is that if it's 2 guys even, if it's 2 men hitting each other with a broom, then
they've got to go back and forth.
Does that mean that if a man hit me with a broom once, and then I was like, oh no, I don't want my genitals to fall off, then I have to take the broom, hit him 7 times. Does that mean he has to then hit me back 49 times to keep his genitals from vanishing?
Why did you get 49?
Because that's 7 times 7. If I hit him 7 times,
no one
he's
said it had
me.
to be 7 times for each hit.
I mean, that's how I interpreted it.
It just says hit with it 7 times. You added a whole new thing to that superstition.
Okay.
You make shit up on your own.
It was a, lost in translation.
Oh my god.
Missing in translation. What's the right phrase?
You just lost in translation. I can't handle this.
MIA.
I can't work like this.
MIT, missing in translation. But don't hit each other with brooms. This seems like a bad idea.
If you're going to hit anybody with a broom,
let it
be Austin. He deserves it.
All right. What superstitions do you have? Or what's your first?
I have a Filipino superstition that says if you go to bed with your hair wet, you'll go blind.
Do you know why?
Nope. That's just what my mom told me. I go to bed with my hair wet every night, and I'm not blind yet. Don't let the glasses fool you.
Now, it didn't say when you would go blind, though.
Yeah, and that didn't say you have to hit them 7 times per hit, did it?
I also don't know the time frame. Like, how quickly do you have to hit them back?
You can't add shit to superstitions that are deeply rooted in some other country's culture.
Okay, I won't do that. But we can add whatever we want to newly made up superstitions that we want.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that.
My second superstition is not to whistle at night. Guys, it's okay to whistle during the day, but never whistle during the evening.
Why not?
Because in some African cultures, whistling at night will bring snakes and evil spirits into bed with you, which is strange because I'm pretty sure snakes don't even hear the way we do. They have ear holes, but they don't hear whistles.
But then why do they come out of their little baskets when someone plays the clarinet thing?
Oh, I actually watched a video on this.
Oh, God.
I
didn't want a real
Fun
answer.
facts with Austin.
There is
yay.
no such thing as a fun fact with Austin.
But normally, snake charmers who do the thing, they have this little like nubbin on the end of their instrument, and when they open up the basket that the cobra's in, it will normally automatically just come up, but then it's the side-to-side motion of the end of their instrument that keeps the cobra like transfixed and moving rhythmically. So it's really not the sound of it at all.
Do you have to act everything out?
Yeah, it's completely necessary. Ever since we got a video element to our podcast.
You were doing it before that.
Then maybe I'm just a very expressive individual.
Can you finish?
Yes. According to Chinese and Korean beliefs, whistling at night will attract wandering ghosts who will follow you home. Kind of like the Haunted Mansion ride. In the United Kingdom, there is a belief in the 7 whistlers, who are 7 mysterious birds or spirits who call out to foretell death or a great calamity. So if you're whistling at night, you might call the whistlers.
I can't whistle, so I can whistle at no time. Stop it! It's nighttime.
The whistlers are coming.
For you, not me. I can't whistle. Did you want to hear another Filipino superstition?
I do!
All right.
Chock full of your culture. I'm so excited.
If you pack a lunch and you bring it back home, you have bad luck because you didn't eat your lunch. Just eat your fucking lunch.
Does that just come from like a...
It's
Don't
probably
waste your
some
food.
Filipino mom being like, I packed you a damn lunch.
I made you this delicious
You
food.
better eat it. And if you don't, if you bring back the lunch I packed you, you're going to have bad luck. Because, you know, Filipino moms are kind of strict like that.
Yeah. The fascinating part about a lot of these superstitions to me is that bad luck is the incentive, but it doesn't really define what bad luck entails. It just means like bad shit will happen to you, or
You'll never get married. Sure. That seems like something a Filipino person would care about. Or you won't have money or kids, or you will be sad and lonely for the rest of your life. So you better eat your lunch.
Did you always eat your lunch?
Nope. I rarely ate my lunch, so.
Your family tree will be a barren one.
All right. Now that you're done.
Yeah. Now that I'm done, I will tell you another. People have issues with numbers all over the world.
Yeah.
So similar to how Western cultures have problems with the number 13, the Chinese culture has an aversion to the number 4 because the word 4, su in Chinese, sounds similar, if not identical to, in my American ears, to the Chinese word for death or dead, ci. Forgive me for my ignorance if I said that completely wrong to all of our Chinese listeners. This fear is known as tetraphobia, which is a lot easier to say than the fear of 13 that I can't even remember off the top of my head. And let me tell you guys, China does not fuck around with this fear of the number 4. Like elevators, similar to here, they don't have the number 4 on their elevators. Parking spaces are numbered without the number 4. Residential complexes will replace building numbers from having 4, 14, 24, 34, etc. to 3A, 13A, 23A, and especially in hospitals. You cannot have a room number in a hospital with the number 4, because that will surely spell death to whoever stays in that room.
That's fair. You don't want to have something that sounds like death on a hospital door. Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Can I go now?
Yeah.
I have a Mexican superstition. If you place 2 mirrors facing each other, creating an infinite reflection, you open the doorway for the devil. He can just climb through that infinite reflection of mirrors.
You know those infinity mirror toy things that you can get? It's not so much a toy, but there's like a double mirror with a rim of lights, and it just looks like an infinitely deep thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You shouldn't do that because the devil can climb through.
Those are all just little devil portals.
Yeah, I bet the devil made them and sold them so that people would buy them thinking they're a toy.
Thanks a lot, consumerism.
You're screwed. I bet you've played with one of those.
I wish. I definitely do it with our medicine cabinet. I open up the medicine cabinet.
Is that why Shadow
perpendicular.
Lady comes here all the
It
time?
might be. Is she the devil?
She works for the devil.
She is employed by the devil.
Thanks a lot. You're supposed to be my safe space.
Do you think the devil gives her a 401k?
Can't believe this is your fault.
I am to blame for all your unhappiness.
Not all of it.
There's another cultural thing with numbers in Afghanistan. There, the number 39 is linked to prostitution, and anyone whose phone number or license plate ends with 39 is a social pariah. Even people who are 39 years old often say they are one less than 40 to avoid the embarrassment.
I don't like that one.
I don't either.
Can you scroll back up?
Thanks a lot, Afghanistan.
The next one, we're going back to the Philippines. There's a Filipino tradition called pugpog.
What?
Pugpog.
Pugpog. Okay.
That says you never go straight back home after a funeral, or a bad spirit might tag along and come into your house. So you got to make a stop somewhere else on the way home. You got to go to a restaurant, or, well, you can't really do that now. You got to go to the fast food drive-thru and they'll stick around at that McDonald's for a while.
Where did you go?
We went to...
I guess the airport counts as a secondary location.
We went to the hotel.
Okay.
To change, and then we went and got ice cream, and then we went back to the house to eat a bunch of food and play video games.
That sounds like a good time. My next one is witch windows. People in Vermont build their houses with diagonal windows to keep out witches. Yeah. Diagonally placed windows are referred to as witch windows due to a belief that witches can't fly their broomsticks through diagonal windows because a person capable of flying on a broom and performing other sorts of magic is utterly bamboozled by anything that isn't a perfect square.
I would like everybody to know that I've never entered a house through a window, and I'm a witch. I can come through your front door.
Yeah, so be scared, guys. Especially you people in Vermont. Your diagonal windows aren't going to do anything.
I'm going to seek out exactly the houses with diagonal windows, and I'm going to come in through the front door of all of them. That serves you right.
And being somebody who's worked with construction contractors, that sounds like a real pain in the ass to try to install a window at 45 degrees. Okay, I'm over it. You go.
Number 5. Do not, under any circumstances, ever cheers with water, especially not in Germany. Cheersing with water is actually wishing death upon the people you're drinking with, so don't do it. This stems from Greek mythology. Greeks follow ancient mythology and toast to the dead with water to represent the departed's journey via the river Lith to the underworld. You would never clink your glass full of water with living people to celebrate anything, so stop cheersing with water.
I'm guilty of this. Sorry.
So stop it.
I'm cheersing to the future of our death.
It's going to come a lot sooner if you don't stop.
All right, and my last weird superstition from across the world is an Icelandic superstition that you need to avoid knitting outdoors on your doorstep during the later months of the year because it will bring about a long winter. No idea who or why anybody is knitting outside when it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but you do you, Nana.
I knit. Not only grandma's knit.
Do you do it outside?
I do it wherever I want.
Oh, damn straight. Okay, forgive me for questioning you.
Never.
Never again.
Don't you fucking dare.
I won't. I promise.
All right, scroll back up. I got 2 more.
Back it up.
And they are the best ones, so.
Awesome.
In Maryland, do not walk backwards downstairs because you will curse your parents. However, if you do choose to curse your parents and walk backward down the stairs, make sure you carry a mirror with you and count each step. If you reach the 13th step without falling, you will see the reflection of your future partner in your mirror.
Okay, A. Walking downstairs backwards is always just a bad idea in general.
But mostly because you'll curse your parents if you do it.
Obviously.
So I gotta go do that.
But B, the process of holding up a mirror, I guess it could be a hand mirror, so that's not as bad. But to go down 13 steps just to see the reflection of a love, like it's... I'd rather not know.
You get to see the love of your life in the mirror.
But you won't know who they are.
I'll stand behind you when you walk down the stairs with your mirror.
Aw. We gotta find a staircase because we live on the 1st floor.
I'm gonna live on the 2nd floor.
Yay! Okay.
You can walk down my stairs.
Are you gonna stand like 14 steps down and then I'll just...
But you can't see me until you're at the 13th.
Okay, so I'll close my eyes, walk backwards 13 steps down your stairs, and then I'll open them with the mirror in hand, and there you'll be. And that's how we'll know.
Because I'm always right behind you on the left side.
But if I don't see you, you're either a vampire or definitely a witch Or, I don't know the devil's situation with mirrors, but maybe you're the devil.
I am the devil.
In which case, I'm going to bring some salt with
And
me.
don't you forget it. If you throw salt in my eyeball, you're not coming back from the desert.
Oh, no. Another on-air threat.
No one ever said they would hurt you. You just wouldn't be coming back from the desert.
If I died out in the desert, would you be liable?
Nope. I have no responsibility to bring you back from the desert. I also have no responsibility to take you to the desert.
Aw.
It's my birthday.
But we want
It's my birthday. In Zimbabwe, if you are kidnapped by a mermaid, because yes, they exist, if your family sheds even one tear for you, just one, the mermaid will never bring you back. If your parents cry for you because you've been kidnapped by a mermaid, you're never coming back.
Oh, no. I remembered another superstition because you said mermaids. Can I tell you about it? It's a pretty good one.
What is it?
It's a Brazilian superstition because
God.
in the Amazon,
I don't wanna.
there are river dolphins known as, I think, boto. And the legend has it that if somebody goes missing in the Amazon rainforest, they actually got taken by the river dolphins and transformed into a dolphin. Now, they cannot turn back from dolphins to humans, but they can get out of the water if they wear salmon as boots and stingrays as hats. And then they run around the forest impregnating women. So basically, if you get lost in the Amazon rainforest, you become a creepy rape dolphin.
I'm not super glad that you told that one.
I don't care for it, but I think it's kind of funny. Just imagining a dolphin wearing fish as shoes and a stingray as a hat. And then everything after that I could do without.
Now, are you done for real?
Now I'm done for real.
What do you say? Superstitions. Are they worth the wait?
I don't think so, but then there's also stuff that I do, like knocking on wood, that I think is just ingrained tradition. I don't think any superstition really has merit. I don't think that you will actually invite dark spirits into your house if you do something wrong.
But you did.
But I did. Shadow Lady is here because I did a stupid thing with the mirror. But I do think that traditions are really strongly ingrained into any culture, that it becomes a strong belief. So if it's real to you, it's real. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'd say if you believe it, you're gonna self-perpetuate it. If you think something bad is gonna happen because you do something on Friday, or like something happens because it's Friday the 13th, we have bad luck every day. But if you're like paranoid about the fact that it's a specific day, so you're like paying extra attention to everything you do, then something's bound to happen. And I think that's why superstitions work.
Yeah. Say, for example, you go see a concert for a band, let's say it's Saint Motel or whatever, and the next day you see like a Saint Motel shirt and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. You probably were not seeing more Saint Motel shirts. You were just making the association in your mind because the human brain is very, very capable of recognizing and acknowledging patterns.
I think if you had chosen a more commonly known band, that would be true.
Okay, AC/DC.
That's a good one.
So say you went to an AC/DC concert, or your friend
wish. Oh my
told you about
God.
it.
He
but yeah.
lost his train of thought.
I did. The fact that the human brain is capable of picking up on patterns, and like Kristen said, unlucky things will happen always. But if they happen to happen on Friday the 13th, we're bound to develop that association and be like, oh, there's a bad thing happening on this day because it's this day. Not because it's just a bad thing that would have happened anyway.
Super unrelated. But do you remember, I think it was a Courage the Cowardly Dog episode where he spilled salt. It might not have been Courage the Cowardly Dog. It might have been like Fairly Odd Parents or something.
Okay.
But they explained that you had to throw salt over your shoulder because the snail was the bad luck snail and it crawled up your back. And if you didn't throw salt on it, it would get to your ear and like it would bad luck your brain or something.
That sounds worse than the devil.
Why can't I remember what show that was? One time, like, someone spilled the salt and they're like, which shoulder do I throw it over? And someone said right, so they threw it over the right, but they missed the snail and the snail got into them. That is the reason I threw salt over my shoulder when I was little, not because I knew it was bad luck, but because I thought there was going to be a snail.
I mean, yeah, let's weigh our options here. We got the devil looming over our left shoulder, waiting to do his evil devil things, and you might blind him, Or you've got a creepy bad luck snail that's slowly inching its way up your left shoulder to slimy slide into your ear.
And the only way to get rid of it is to salt the snail. Yeah,
I mean, that'll kill it.
exactly.
And then you got some escargot, some bad luck snail escargot. I'm sure that tastes good. It's a delicacy in France.
All right, well, apologies that we didn't actually debate about that.
Guess we'll just throw away the premise of our entire show.
Next week, there are going to be fists thrown
The lion.
because obviously I have strong opinions.
Mhm.
Okay, we didn't have super strong opinions. People of the internet, though, have things to say about superstitions.
The people of the internet have so much better things to say about it than I do.
What do you got for me?
Well, I found a video that was my main resource for most of these superstitions from Thoughty2, titled Strange Superstitions from Around the World. And in the comments section of that video, we've got a little bit of a conversation happening here from user Kali Sekmet 2 months ago saying, "Hitting a man causes impotence? I wish I knew that when my ex cheated on me." Laugh emoji, laugh emoji. Savage.
Huh, huh,
Way to go, Callie. Take it out on your man.
huh, huh.
And then, in response, Tony Lee James said, also 2 months ago, "Hitting a woman also causes impotence. My husband punched me, and he's been out of action ever since."
Does that mean she hit him back?
That means she hit him back 7 times.
In the balls.
Right in the balls.
Perfect. He deserved it. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, we hate you, Tony Lee James's husband, because it's never acceptable to do that.
Correct.
And I'm kind of glad his balls are out of service. Moving on.
I have 2 core articles this week, but I'm going to start with one. The first one is, what are the weirdest superstitions you have ever come across?
Tell me
this
about it.
first one that I found from Missy Langley Webb, a former veterinary receptionist from 1999 to 2017, said, "I had a best friend when I was in grammar school who didn't have the best of living situations. Her family often had lice, and they weren't very good at getting rid of them. My friend developed a large weeping sore on the back of her head,
Ew.
just above the nape of her neck. I asked her what happened, and she told me she got it from her dad, who had been hit on the head and robbed many years before she was born. I told her that wasn't possible, but she insisted it was. It turned out her mother wouldn't buy shampoo, and the kids were washing their hair with very harsh lice treatment issued to them by the local government assist program. I told my mom, and she sent my friend home with some normal shampoo, and lo and behold, her inherited head wound went away." That is not a superstition.
Gross.
I think she meant like the kids.
Was the mom superstitious about
No.
using...
I think the kid came up with her own little how this got here superstition, that her dad got hit in the head and he just like passed down his injury.
Oh.
And then the friend was like, "That's bullshit." And,
Yeah.
And they got her regular shampoo and she no longer had the head wound.
That's a scenario where I mean, it's only hurting her. Okay, I have a thing with superstitions because, like the impotence one and beating people with brooms, that harms both parties. A lot of superstitions are just like, oh, I gotta do this little tradition to make me feel comfortable about something. But that one and this one is keeping her from treating whatever this weeping sore.
She was a kid.
Okay.
She doesn't know.
I'll give her a pass.
And this next one from Nina Monday.
Nina Monday.
He, she, they say, kind of idiotic, but my ex would never visit temple during her periods. She felt that she was impure and did not deserve to be there. My reaction would be like, what? Cheers.
Nina, make sure you're not cheersing with water.
Correct.
If you're on your period, you are not impure. Your body is functioning just the way it should be. Just so everybody knows. But yeah, my reaction would be like, what? As well.
Cheers.
Cheers. What? Cheers. Oh no. Well, Nina, I hope your ex is able to go to temple on her periods now. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You should exercise your right to practice your religion even if you are bleeding out of the vagina. Nobody wanted to hear that,
Nope.
did they?
Let's move on. What do you got for me?
All right, my next one comes from a BuzzFeed video called Weird Superstitions from Around the World.
Woo!
Oh yeah. We got user Bella Labanca, who brings us another potential superstition from the perspective of the internet, saying, if you watch too many BuzzFeed videos, you'll turn into a potato. And I mean, absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's another comment from this YouTube video from Satanta Culleton, who's bringing us a superstition from Ireland, saying, you never pick up a comb you find in the woods because the banshee owns it. And if you pick it up, you apparently hear a screech. That means one of your family members is now dead.
It's like the cannons in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's not good. And can I get confirmation from any of our Irish listeners? Because I need to know if this is real. I actively avoid buying combs, and I only use the ones that I've found in the woods. Haven't heard any screaming yet, but...
Screeching. I guess you're just looking for the wrong sound.
I guess so. Maybe all my family is dead, and I didn't even know.
It's all your fault.
Another comment from Sophie J shares another superstition with the class. My mom always says that if you step over someone while they're laying down, they can never grow taller. I always freak my mom out and jump over my baby brother.
That's fucked. That's not nice.
Dude.
But is jumping the same as stepping over?
Well, if it's a baby, it's really easy to step over.
But she said jumping. She jumps over the baby.
Well,
does it have the same effect if you're jumping instead of stepping because the superstition is stepping?
if you're jumping over a baby, there's a whole other reason to be stressed out than it not growing taller. Sophie J is successfully stressing her mom out. I don't think it has anything to do with the superstition.
You're also apparently stressing Austin out, so please stop.
Yeah, don't jump on your baby brother. But then I also got to thinking about if this was real and the baby brother never grew taller and it just became a grown man that was only like 2 feet tall.
Belongs in the freak show. Second core article was, what are superstitions? Should we believe in superstitions or not? And Krishna Kumari Chala says superstitions are baseless beliefs that your mind clings to when it is in a chaotic state with low confidence and when fear rules it. No, you should not believe in them if you really want to strengthen your mind in the right way. What is the right way? A rational and scientific analysis of a problem and finding solutions with creative knowledge. Krishna, you're an asshole.
Well, Krishna, I don't know if you're aware of this, but to really open your mind to science and the analysis of daily problems, you have to realize that the Earth is in fact flat. Because I've used my personal observations to be able to tell this.
Knock it off. Krishna's an asshole because you can't tell people not to believe in things. And she basically said that people who believe in them don't strengthen their mind in the right way. Bitch, what is the right way? You don't know.
This kind of shits on religion.
Clearly.
Because all religious
Someone's
traditions
bitter.
and beliefs come from a, similar mindset as superstition, I think.
A lot of superstitions stem from religious beliefs. So stay in your lane, Krishna. There is no right way to strengthen your mind unless you're trying to do it by pouring salt in your brain.
Yeah, just be good to people and don't
Don't
pour
be an
salt in your
asshole. You're
brain.
being an asshole. Knock it off. I like your next ones because I found them and they're really funny.
Kristen curated another set of expert opinions for me from a Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show segment called #hashtags my weird superstition. These are submitted from Twitter, correct?
Yep.
To Jimmy Fallon, at Nicola Fry, 1980. When I take painkillers, I have to whisper what's wrong with me first, like headache or sore shoulder, or else the medicine won't know where to go. #my weird superstition.
I've definitely had this thought when I was little, like when you take a painkiller and I was like, but is it specific to the injury that I have? And my mom would be like, no. And then I was like, then how does the medicine know where to be? How does that work?
So you like the ibuprofen you took earlier for the headache, you were like, headache.
No, I learned later that they just block all pain receptors, but
Oh,
when
I didn't
you're-
even know that.
when you're little, you're like, how does it know that I have a headache and how does it know where to go?
Because nature and science is a wonderful, magical thing.
No, it just blocks your pain receptors, or tries to, because you can only go so high with
Okay, but
Tylenol
you
and
can have
ibuprofen.
6 in 24 hours, so you could just do like 6 at once, and it'll probably work. User at...
That's not safe. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't listen to what I say. Next one. User at Motown Philly says, When I was little, my mom told me that every grain of rice I didn't finish in my dinner bowl would be a zit on my future husband's face. Hashtag my weird superstition. That's a lot of zits.
Because each grain of rice.
You have to finish all of your rice.
Do you have to lick the bowl at that point then to get all of the rice grains?
Well, especially if you're using chopsticks, it's really hard to pick up a single grain of rice with chopsticks.
How do you know she's using chopsticks?
Oh, I don't know. I guess...
You just assumed.
Do people in Asian cultures even use chopsticks to eat rice? I think that's a thing I made up.
Yeah.
I've definitely eaten rice
not
with
all
chopsticks.
of them.
It was not easy.
Not all of them. And you don't pick up grains of rice with your chopsticks. You do like clumps.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Jesus.
Okay, even still, he, she, their husband is going to have a lot of zits on their face. Assuming that they haven't finished all of their rice in a dinner bowl. Man, there's some weird superstitions with respect to make sure you finish eating all of your food. Nothing goes to waste.
A very Asian culture thing.
Yeah.
Don't waste your food.
Well, how did it become a thing in Western culture to say, like, there are starving kids in Africa, you should eat all your food?
Because there are, and you don't want to be the asshole who has access to all this food, and they like, meanwhile, there are children starving in Africa who only wish they could have the food that you have. That's a guilt thing. That has to come from like Catholicism or something where guilt is the main teaching tool. You got to use guilt to make people feel like they have to do things differently.
And understanding that, I guess I get the phrase, but as a child, I was a little smartass, and I was like, yeah, but it's not like you're going to send them the food, so, like, why do I need to feel bad for not finishing it?
You're such an asshole.
I was a little asshole, yes. Now I get it, and I try not to be wasteful. Up next on the Jimmy Fallon #myweird_superstition posts is from user at rtran1251 saying, I halfway believe in aliens, but I try not to think about them because if they're real, they for sure read minds. And then they'd know that I know that they know. That was hard to say. If they are real, they for sure read minds. And then they know that I know that they know. #myweird_superstition.
I've definitely had that thought too. Like, they definitely read minds.
And then they know that I know that they know.
I don't care if they know that I know. I just don't want them to know what I'm thinking.
So it's okay if an alien knows that you know what they know.
Yeah. I just don't want them to know the thoughts I have. Because a lot of the time, they're not good things.
If a alien peers into the thoughts of somebody who's having like really, really dark thoughts, are they going to be like, oh, damn, this planet's sad, and then they'll just leave?
No, they'll take that one for probing. Duh. It's like
Why
he doesn't
do they take
even know.
advantage of the sad person?
It's like he doesn't even... Why do they care if a person's sad?
Well, if they read your thoughts and they have any amount of
They want to know why that
person...
they don't. They don't want that. They want to know why that person is sad, so they would take them and dissect their brain.
Ooh.
As if you don't know how aliens work. Come on.
Well, I don't.
Come on.
But I also don't believe that aliens have made contact with our planet, or it's very unlikely that they have in any case.
You don't know shit. All right. Well, I have one last expert opinion. It is from the Good Mythical Morning episode called Strangest Superstitions Around the World. And the expert opinion comes from Rhett himself. Rhett's uncle sticks his finger in his belly button and sniffs it for good luck. That's disgusting.
Hold on. Let me see.
No.
What does mine smell like? I gotta give it a shot. It's nothing special. Remember how we said we didn't shower after our 5K? She is so over me now. Well, that's the lack of debate, y'all.
And you're disgusting.
This one was a little bit different, guys, but thank you for sticking with us. And if you liked this episode, and if you're okay with hearing different episodes now and again, go ahead and let us know at CoPOPod@gmail.com. Or you can tell us that you hated it, and then we'll just stick to the debates.
If you'd like to send us other argument topic suggestions for future episodes, send an email with debate about it in the subject line. And to share your thoughts, updates, or additional argument points to previous topics, put Court of Appeal in the subject line. Reminder, we're on YouTube now.
Yeah, check it out.
Search Court of Public Opinion in your YouTube search bar to watch our shenanigans while you listen.
You can see what I'm doing right now if you go check out YouTube.
Trust me, you don't wanna.
And you can also follow us on Instagram at CoPOPod for everything CoPO related, that's Court of Opinion related, Court of Public Opinion related, or you can follow our joint Instagram, Double Down Adventures, that's double down _ adventures, for everything Kristen and Austin adventure and travel related.
Woo.
We go on hikes, we go paddleboarding, we do other fun things where we basically kill ourselves from heat exhaustion. Thanks, Runyon Canyon.
Woo.
And another thing, we're on Patreon. So if you guys love the show, it would mean so much if you guys went on patreon.com/CoPOPod and consider donating $1 or $5. If you enter our $5 tier, you'll have access to all of our episodes on Patreon, including the videos, but you'll also have access to all of our bonus videos, which include a little trip to the fast food restaurants that we did with Kara last week. And you can watch us taste all of the dairy-free milks that we tried.
In a hot sec, you're going to get a video of Austin dyeing my hair.
Hell yeah.
That was fun. So join us. Join our cult.
All right, Kristen. What are we going to be arguing next week?
Well, next week, in honor of our birthdays, we will be arguing who are better, pirates or ninjas.
Yeah, my birthday is on September 19th, the day the episode is going to be coming out, which happens to be National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So I'll be probably arguing. Which one do you want to argue?
Pirates are way better than ninjas.
Then I'll argue in favor of ninjas. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you like the pod, you know what? It's not the holiday yet. Thank you so much.
You better not talk like that the entire time next week. I will.
I have to.
Chop
it's the
your
holiday.
nuts off. I refuse to participate.
We'll see. Thank you.
No!
Thank you guys so much for listening this week, and keep on listening. We would love to have you again. If you like the podcast, go ahead and rate and review the Court of Public Opinion on Apple or Google Podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review and leave a written review as well, because that helps the algorithm make us go up the charts somehow. I don't know how it works.
Special thanks to Nathan Ruiz for designing the Court of Public Opinion podcast logo. AJ Curtin for writing, recording, and producing our theme music, and Gerard Marquez for being the voice of our bailiff at the beginning of every single episode.
All right, y'all. Catch you next week for Pirates versus Ninjas. And have an awesome week, Peanuts!
Happy birthday, Ricky. Goodbye.
Bye.